Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are here on XRP, and the SEC slams Ripple-friendly firms for attempting to help defendants. We're going to cover this big time today. I did want to start here in the charts with XRP up 3.69%, 369. Those are the numbers of the universe. So that was pretty cool. That synchronicity just happened for us. So XRP Army, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see here today, the price did run up exactly up into our daily supply and demand zone, and it rejected off the exact tippity-toppity of that zone there. So what we're going to be looking for now that we've collected a lot more data over the last couple of days is we're going to go ahead and rechart everything and see what is going on. Now, as you guys remember, from yesterday, we did talk about XRP with a 50% rally coming soon. Is it possible? It definitely is. And as you can see, the 50% rally would put us up at that 70-cent range. So 70-cent range would be very exciting. That did also fall pretty close to the tippity top of this daily supply and demand zone at 65 cents. But it fell in between this one and this one here, getting us to that 75 cents range. So we have all of this on the charts. Let's go ahead. For those of you guys that are new to using TradingView, you'll see there's a little trash can over here on the side. You can click that. Boom. You throw it all in the trash. And now we have empty charts. And hey, by the way, if you're new here, my name is Ryan Huggins, and I'm a crypto and real estate investor here in Orange County, California. And my job is to help be your crypto shortcut. Because if you're like most people, you probably don't have the opportunity to spend hours a day reading articles, studying the charts, and watching YouTube all day. But that is what I do. And I bring that information to you in a condensed manner. So thank you guys for joining us today. Subscribe if that's something you're interested in. Today, we will be covering the SEC slams Ripple-friendly firms for attempting to help defendants. U.S. Treasury watchdog suggests crypto activities could threaten financial stability. As we've been covering, these powers that be, the New World Order, the Illuminati, the World Economic Forum, the Monetary Fund, all of these people, they do not like crypto. So it's always good to know what the enemy's thinking. So we'll cover that with us today as well. And we also have Coinbase CEO announces documentary on cryptocurrency and the exchange. So this will be pretty cool. We'll find out a little bit more about that right there. And then we also have, if Credit Suisse collapses, will it bring more volatility to the crypto market? Watch the market report. So as you guys may or may not know, there is a bank called Credit Suisse, who's in severe problems, severe troubles, very similar to Lehman Brothers 2008, where Lehman Brothers actually closed down. They went bankrupt. Remember, the banks were all too big to fail. Well, they made an example out of Lehman Brothers, and now we have Credit Suisse that they may be doing the same thing. Could that be a market collapsing event? So we're going to go through all of this today. So let's go ahead, jump over here to the XRP charts. We'll start here and then we'll get going from there. So first and foremost, as you guys know, what we're going to do is cover this. We do have 1 hour, 21 minutes left in the daily candle. It is currently here in California, 3:38 p.m. Pacific time while I'm making this video. So whenever you watch this, it may be at a different time. So keep that in mind when you're watching it. So the first thing that we are going to do, we're going to use the weekly charts here, and we are going to look at our supply and demand zones. The way that I find supply and demand, I've learned this from a really successful trader, is you actually take your candles, you turn them to the Heikin-Ashi candles, and it's that simple. So what we're looking for is the last candle before the move. So this move right here, this is a big, giant down move. So we're looking for the last green candle before that down move, and that will be our weekly supply and demand zone to the top side. We're going to go ahead and make this white because that's the color code that we use for weekly on this channel, on this segment that you're watching right now. On the bottom side, we do the same thing. So this is our most recent up move here. So we could take this candle right here, and that's our bottom side. So this would be our resistance. This would be our support that we are going to be using, okay? Now, you could also even go back in time a little further and use this candle here instead if you wanted, because it does fully engulf that. That's totally fine. It's up to you on how you would like to do that. I just like to use any one of them, but we'll go ahead and use this most recent candle for now, so we're more precise. Okay, so after that, now we have this nice move that's starting to develop here on XRP to the upside. We had a green doji, we had a green spinning top, and now we have a very powerful move to the upside. You can see this weekly candle, 5 days, 2 hours left in it, so it's only been running for 2 days, so it hasn't had really a chance to move to the upside. But if you're looking at this, you're like, well, shoot, there's no way price could just immediately run up there. You're absolutely right. There is going to be some interference in here. And the way we find that is by switching over to the dailies now. So now we have our weekly long term, right? So if over time price comes back down to here, that's understandable, but we know where it's going. And then, of course, what we want to see happen is climb and get up to here. Now, in order for price to continue its move to the upside and get up into this supply and demand zone of 78 cents is the bottom, it has to break this zone right here. And there is a top of that, and that's the top of this candle right here. So the top of this candle, if we break above that and create a support level there, so we work our way up and then we bust it, and then it becomes a support for us, we can start the leg of the next move. All right. So that's what we're really looking for here. So that doesn't mean that we're only moving up. That's just what we're looking for the upside bias. And by the way, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Do not buy or sell anything because we cover it on this channel. This is just financial entertainment and education. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look for our daily supply and demand zones. So we have our weeklies, the white ones. Now we'll go to the dailies. So as you can see right here, there is a green candle right there. And we're going to color our daily boxes. We are currently using yellow. So as you can see here, our daily supply and demand zone is just below the weekly supply and demand zone. That is at 75 cents. That's the top one. Now we do also have another one right here below it. And that one is getting us to the 58 cent to 65 cent range. So that's a big box there, right? And we talked about this yesterday when we're starting to climb the stairs of XRP. Where do we want to go? Well, we've climbed the stair above 45 cents. The next level is 55 cents, then 65 cents, then 75 cents. And then, of course, we would get up into even here, which we do have a supply and demand box right here, which, oh my gosh, crazy, right? 85 cents. So on the way down, price was falling down every 10 cents. We're hoping to see the climb of that as well. Now, I know some of you guys who are watching this who are extreme XRP holders. You're like $1,000, man. I'm gonna have $1,000 per coin. Okay, cool. That is a possibility. That will be like when Armageddon happens and all of the financial markets collapse to zero, and then all of a sudden your XRP goes up to $1,000 a coin. Cool. And by the way, I'm holding XRP. I do hope and dream of that, right? So we can all retire. But right now, we're playing the markets as reality. All right. So we're going to play the reality of the markets, and it's going to be climbing up to these levels, 10 cent by 10 cent by 10 cent. Now, the other thing that we have is our last green candle. So this was a high green candle. This was a high green candle. And this was the top green candle right here. So that's our highest green candle, this candle right here, which was the May 15th Heikin-Ashi green candle. And as you can see, that is where we are resting as a support right now. So that's really good news. Now we can flip back to Japanese candlesticks and take a look. So price ran up, price came back down, and it did clear out the imbalance on the daily candle, which we talk about a lot as well. So I'll show you that indicator. That indicator is called the fair value gap. So as you can see, we did have a big fair value gap. It came and closed that all out right there. There are no more fair value gaps in this local area. The only fair value gap we have right now is this 27 cent fair value gap. That 27 cent fair value gap comes to us all the way back from history from here, January 30th of 2021. So will that fair value gap be filled? It's possible. Does it have to be filled for price to move to the upside? No, it does not have to. But if the markets wanted to do something crazy, they could definitely do that to us. The other thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and take our horizontal ray. We'll go to the top of that candle, to the top of this candle. What you'll notice today, we have broken this trend here, which that's really, really positive news. All right. So now we have this candle that's going to close in 1 hour and 14 minutes that has now broken from this point to this point. That was a trend line and it broke it on the daily. We take a look here at the 4 hours. You can see that it broke it outside, which is awesome. Okay. So in fact, let's go ahead and adjust this a tad to incorporate our 4 hour tops. And well, when you make that little adjustment on the smaller time frame, you can see we've rejected there a little bit. So there is a possibility that the next candle does come out green, and then we do go out and claim that. So we want to come here, possibly retest this, then boom, we move to our next leg of the up move. Now let's test the bottom side of this as well. So we have this candle here to this candle here, and that would be the bottom. So if this does crazy reject or something, then we could see it pull back into this range here, this 44-cent range, and then retest this zone down here, clear out that fair value gap, and then take off to the upside. If for some reason we don't get support here and it breaks that level, then we could see the return and fill this fair value gap and this fair value gap to the downside. So remember, we cover everything here. There is no, this is where price is going. I'm not telling you where price is going. If we're doing price predictions, we're doing price prediction to the upside, 55, 65, 75, 85 cents to the upside. Those where the levels are. And then also to the downside, we have the 40-cent level here. And we also have this 37-cent level down here. So those are the fair value gaps that could likely be filled. And that's also getting us back into the downside weekly supply and demand zone there at 36 cents. All right, now we got that. Now let's go ahead and also look at, we're going to remove the fair value gaps for the moment. Let's switch back to Heikin-Ashi candles. And let's take a look at where supply and demand goes on these smaller time frames. So as you can see right here, there is a candle right there, the last red candle before the green up move. We'll color this in red because that's what we use for the 4 hour boxes. And what's interesting is that does coincide with exactly the same thing, right? So it coincides with this 45-cent extreme level of support that came from back here. On the daily, remember, it was right here. You can see here on the 4 hour, there's even a higher one. So we can array this with change that to there. Let's go ahead and move that so that way it's proper. Okay, so now that's the highest point. It's 47 cents. 47, almost 48 cents, as you can see right here, 0.479. What's really exciting though, we've broken that, we have already gained that. So we broke that as a level, right? Came back, tested it. It did give way for a minute, right? Maybe a day or so, battled back, tested, battled back. But as you can see, we're getting higher lows each time. So each time, we're getting a higher low. What we really would love to see is a higher high, and a higher high being above this 55, 56 cent level, really. So we're going to keep an eye on that and see what happens there. But if this were to reject and come on down and then maybe bump off of the support line of our trend here and also get into our 4 hour supply and demand box, that's all a reality, could actually happen. To the upside, though, let's take a look at the upside. Where do we have? We have this box here, a 4 hour supply and demand zone. You can see it's wicked in there, wicked a couple of times. Right now, because of the strength of this trend line, it's not quite breaking out of that zone. Let's look on the 1 hour. You can see here, it has been a really sturdy resistance against this level. But on the 1 hours, we can also look back in history here too. The last green candle before this down move on the hourly, we even have this little micro doji candle, blue, And we're going to get to the news here in just a second. So stick with me here. So you can see right here, this candle, boom, or this box on the candle, it has now turned into the support level on the 1 hour. So that's good. So we have a support here, could potentially break to the upside. If it were to start to fall, well, let's look at a smaller level of support on the downside. So if we go here, we'll take the bottom of that red candle to the bottom of that red candle right there. Okay, so there's your 1 hour trend line. So it also could come there and build support. It may not have to fall all the way down to that 4 hour trend line, which would be nice. And then if we break it even lower, check this out. So we go from this red candle to the most recent red candle. Right now, the current red candle we're in with 9 minutes left has a doji style, not really breaking it to the downside yet. But if we go to a smaller time frame, it's outside the box. So we have to adjust this here to the most recent down candle. So this will help me if I'm watching this, right? So if for some crazy reason it breaks below this line, then it would come to this level, and then it would come to this level, and then come to this level. So there's all of these different supports to help me realize, okay, so if price falls below here, it could go to here. If price breaks this, then it could go to here. If price breaks that, then it could go to here. And then you just keep zooming out. If price breaks that, it could. So there's a lot of interference on the way down, which is a good sign for us because maybe not. Maybe you're a short seller. You want XRP to go to 9 cents or something. That's, some people are hoping and dreaming that it crashes, but I'm bullish bias on everything. But I always cover ups and downs. So I just wanted to show you guys that on those scenarios. So we have a 1 hour supply and demand zone support that it's at right now. It's also being supported by a 15-minute trend line, an uptrend. So we've been in an uptrend from here to here. And it's also got a super backing by a 4 hour uptrend as well. Well, we got the 4 hour down here, which this one will be red. This one's a 1 hour, so it's blue. This one's a 15-minute one, so we could change it to like a peak. And then we have our top side, which is acting as a resistance. And as you'll notice, we've gotten pretty close to getting out of there, right? It's testing it a couple times. So we'll see. We'll see what happens when we push that to the upside. So zooming all the way back out to the dailies, we have our downside supply and demand box support, 36 cents. We currently have a more recent time 4 hour supply and demand box at 44 cents. We're currently sitting on a 1 hour supply and demand box at 47 cents. We'll see if that holds support. Our next level of resistance here on the 4 hour box is 49 cents. So if we do bust through to the upside on that trend line, then we can make our rise up 49 cents, making our way back up to 55 cents. And then there's the daily supply and demand cents at 58 cents. So those are some stops on the way to the upside. And then we get, of course, the 55 is our line, 65, 75, 85 cents on the way up. So let's continue climbing the ladder. Is there a possibility of price coming down? That's the question I keep on getting. There is no fair value gap or there's a tiny one, sorry, at the fair value gap on 27 cents, right, on the daily. But on the weekly, we covered this the other day, there is no fair value gap on the weekly. That's good news, like really, really good news. And then one final thing I want to show you guys here, also as very bullish news. Okay, so we'll turn on the TDI, the RSI, the Traders Dynamic Index here. The RSI has now breached above the 50 level. That means it's above the midpoint, meaning it's bullish on the weekly. The only thing is it did hit the volatility band, the Bollinger Band up here. And then so last week we had that little micro red, but you know what? We very well could see a continuation. The volatility band start to expand. It heads up, RSI heads up. The market baseline, this yellow line, it's starting to curl up. So it's been downtrending for so long, starting to trend up. And this is all on the weekly. So we have not even gotten to overbought on the weekly up. We're at 70. There's so much room to run. There's a very, very good possibility The only thing that I'm not liking very much is the fact that we did reach the top of the volatility band. Sometimes it'll come back, retest the market baseline, then head up to the next leg. And if we take a look here at the daily, dropping to a smaller time frame, the opposite is true, right? So price ran all the way out of the volatility band on the top, started coming back down. It did hit that center point, the market baseline, the yellow line, and now it is starting to creep up. In fact, because this is a lagging indicator, tomorrow, this will be, or not even tomorrow, 1 hour and 4 minutes, this very likely could have passed through the yellow or the red line. All right, so let me show you. See how there's red here? Green is trying to pierce through the red. Then it'll turn the green background. We already have the major green background. And the reason we have that major green background is because we did pass above the market baseline. So that turns this bullish, okay? And then here, when this background is also green, it's extra bullish. And we're about to get that indicator here on the daily again. It's very possible. So exciting. What we're looking at for XRP is looking good. Craziness with all the drawings, but this is great. Boom, boom, 2 powerful bullish candles momentum-wise. This is going to come to a close here in 1 hour. The one thing I will point out, tomorrow, when this new candle starts, we'll take a look here, see where this wick ended, okay? So the wick on yesterday's candle ended here, and this continued boosting up and boosted up strong. That's going to leave an imbalance here. There is a possibility that tomorrow, when the candle starts moving, it may come back, retest this 47-cent level before continuing its way up. Kind of like you saw here. This one wicked down a little, then took off. In a motion letter to the federal judge, Annalisa Torres, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission asked the court to deny the request of iRemit Inc. and TapJets Inc. to file amicus briefs in support of the defendant's motion for summary judgment in the Ripple case. So we did cover this the other day. There are major corporations coming to the support of XRP, of Ripple, okay, because Ripple's the one that's actually in the case. XRP is just the coin in question. But iRemit and TapJets, who use Ripple and the system with XRP, are also coming to the aid of Ripple and XRP. The SEC slammed the movements, or the movants, for attempting to offer evidence that is outside of the constraints of discovery restrictions. The SEC has slammed the movants for attempting to offer evidence that is outside of the constraints of discovery restrictions. iRemit, a remittance company based in the Philippines, said that it was interested in the outcome of the lawsuit because of its heavy reliance on Ripple's on-demand liquidity solution, which uses the XRP token as its bridge currency. The company claimed that it had deep knowledge of the technology, and it expressed its desire to aid the courts in evaluation of SEC's arguments. TapJets, a private jet charter company, also stepped into the Highlights XRP utility by asking the court to file an amicus brief. It argued that the usage of the XRP token, which makes it possible to make faster transfers, was central to its business model as well. The SEC doesn't see any valid reasons why the defendants could not have adduced the facts that have been put forward by the two firms. Most importantly, the plaintiff says that the movants cannot actually explain how Ripple being required to register its XRP distribution would prevent it from using the token. U.S. Treasury watchdog suggests crypto activities could threaten financial stability. The Treasury Department's Financial Stability Oversight Council is weighing in on crypto assets and their potential to affect the traditional financial structure of the U.S. The council, which was formed by Dodd-Frank Act to help identify financial stability risks in the United States, says the crypto assets such as stable coins may compromise the country's financial system if the industry remains unregulated. Now, remember, they want to create their own stable coin, the CBDC, and they're going to try to eliminate all competition, which is smart. Like when you're a business, you don't want competition, so why not eliminate it? Crypto assets activities could pose risks to the stability of the U.S. financial system if the interconnections with the traditional financial system or their overall scale were to grow without adherence to or being paired with the appropriate regulation, including enforcement of the existing regulatory structure. And they go on to say, although interconnections with the traditional financial system are currently relatively limited, they could potentially increase rapidly. Participants in the crypto asset ecosystem and the traditional finance system have explored or created a variety of interconnections. Notable sources of potential interconnections include traditional assets held as part of stablecoin activities. Crypto asset trading platforms may also have the potential for greater interconnections by providing a wide variety of services, including leveraged trading and asset custody, to a range of retail investors and traditional financial institutions. Consumers can also increasingly access crypto asset activities, including through certain traditional money services business. The council says that compliance with an enforcement of existing regulations is a key step. In addressing these potential risks, it also recommends bolstering the capacity of regulatory agencies related to crypto asset data and expertise in order to tackle the threats the industry may pose. And as you'll notice, I do continue to bring these types of articles to your eyes as well, because I think it's very important that you guys understand not just what's happening to a particular crypto, but also what's happening to behind the scenes of crypto ecosystem as a whole. So hope you guys are enjoying these types of topics that we're covering on the channel as well. Now, also Coinbase CEO announces documentary on cryptocurrency and exchange. I think this is actually going to be really, really great. We'll see where they launch it, but this will be great for the average everyday person because they're going to make it, in my opinion, they're going to make it as a commercial for Coinbase, of course, right? And Coinbase, as we know, it is the easiest, most simple system to use for a newbie to get into crypto. But at the same time, they do charge extreme fees, right? Compared to some of the other systems out there. So Armstrong said the documentary will capture the good, the bad, and the ugly of building a tech startup from the ground up. So it's going to be, in my opinion, very interesting to check out. I just recently watched the Uber documentary, and that was a lot of fun too. And I don't really care about the Uber technology as much as I do about crypto. So this could be really cool. Coinbase co-founder and CEO Brian Armstrong announced in a series of tweets on October 4th that the crypto-centric documentary capturing his journey of building a tech startup from the ground up will be available this Friday on Amazon Prime, iTunes, YouTube, and other streaming platforms. The documentary, Coin, a founder's story, intends to pull back the curtain and show people what it's really like to build a tech company from the ground up and encourage others who want to do the same. According to the CEO, documentary director Greg Coase and his team had unprecedented access to Armstrong's company, capturing the crazy ups and downs over the span of the last 3 years. The announcement said that documentary will capture the good, the bad, and the ugly of building the tech startup from the ground up to becoming a public company. That's kind of the interesting thing that I want to see when they were getting ready to release to public. I wonder what that was like. Hopefully we do get to see like the reality. And as you can see, here's his tweet thread. Big announcement. We've been working with the director, Greg Coase, on a documentary about cryptocurrency and Coinbase over the last 3 years, and it will be coming out this Friday on Amazon Prime, iTunes, and YouTube. Armstrong shared, I agreed to do this document because I wanted to demystify what it takes to build a tech startup and encourage more people to start companies. I also wanted to demystify crypto. And that is my most important part of this here. As I tell you guys a lot of times, thank you for watching. And we are crypto evangelists. Our job is to help spread the word for crypto so people understand what it is. It's not this big, bad, evil, scary thing. It's actually very simple when you start to learn how to use it. The CEO encouraged everyone to watch the film, including policymakers, as he believes it will help advance cause of cryptocurrency, as well as show the motivations of many hardworking individuals steering the industry forward. On September 26th, Cointelegraph reported the blockchain company Veritusum was suing Coinbase for $320 million in an alleged patent infringement case. So I wonder if they cover that in the documentary as well. Let me know, are you going to be watching the documentary? Let me know down in the comment section. Hell yeah, I'm going to watch, or no, I don't really care. Just let me know down in the comment section. All right. And then in major global craziness, financial market news, Credit Suisse collapses. So on this week's episode of Market Recap, Cointelegraph resident experts discuss Credit Suisse situation and what impact it could have on cryptocurrency markets if it did collapse. So in the video, which you can go watch this, by the way, on their YouTube channel, Cointelegraph's YouTube channel, will Credit Suisse collapse? You can check out that video. I don't want to spoil that for you. We'll just cover what it covers, the outline here. BTC price still not at max pain. And a lot of people have been experiencing that. Obviously, with this coming out, we still have the Mt. Gox Bitcoin release situation coming out. Like that could really bring max pain. It's starting to look like the markets are rebounding, right? The last 2 days, stocks have gone up, Bitcoin's gone up, everything's gone up. It's looking like a bottom. I actually literally just had a friend text me while I'm making this video. My phone's right here. He's saying, hey, was that the crypto bottom, right? Which we had recently. It could have been, but there's more to come. So we'll see what happens. So Bitcoin starts a new week in a precarious place as a global macro instability dictates the mood. After sealing a weekly close just inches above the $19,000 mark, the largest cryptocurrency still lacks direction as nerves heighten over the resilience of the global financial system. And as we take a look here on pricing, by the way, if we do jump over here real quick to Bitcoin, it is over 19,000 and it has had 2 consecutive days rallying rather strongly. You can see here on the RSI, it has lots of room to run to the upside as well. And as well on this daily, there's a huge daily fair value gap that needs to be filled to the upside. There's a tiny one down here, but like I was saying, I mean, usually they go after the more aggressive ones. This fair value gap carries us all the way up to 21,500. Europe still seems to be at the top of everyone's minds as the latest news about potential collapse of major global banks, particularly Credit Suisse and Deutsche Bank, looms overhead. What impact would this have on the cryptocurrency market? And could this give Bitcoin its time to shine? Or will this other macro factors force the price lower than we've previously seen? With everything going on in the financial world at the moment, it seems like this bear market is shaping to be like any other. Robert Kiyosaki calls Bitcoin a buying opportunity as US dollar surges. Now, we have been following that as well here on the channel. Look at this, guys. Look at this. This is absolutely incredible. This is what we've been hoping and dreaming and like really needing. The dollar is breaking. The dollar finally came down. We talked about this, how China was going to be selling their dollars to the yuan. And we were hoping that this would be coming down to the daily supply and demand zone here at 109, at least tapping that. There is a daily fair value gap here. The bottom of that support and demand box is all the way at 107. But let's check here. Let's go to the 4 hour. Let's go here. Let's turn that off and look at this. So we have a 4 hour coming in like right now. Okay, so this is the last red candle before the up move right there at 109. That could likely hit by tomorrow. If that breaks, and that would break all of these as well, it would be good news for the crypto and stock markets. Then we see price coming down to the bottom of that level here, 108, 107. So just wanted to cover that real quick because it popped up in there. Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, has called BTC, silver, and gold a buying opportunity amid the strengthening United States dollar and continued interest rate hikes. He suggests the U.S. Federal Reserve could start to pivot and drop interest rates soon as January 2023, which could lead to the Bitcoin and other commodity prices reversals. Could this be the huge buying opportunity? Our experts analyze the situation. So our experts cover these over the developing story, so make sure to tune into that video and find out what's going on. But hey, even though there's all of this crazy bad news going on, let me show you something that could bring some really, really great news to you.